breakfast at Fishies. Welcome and good morning. I'm Mike Fisher, your trusty and trusted reporter. This is the Fishbowl. Over there is the Star, and over there is the Rocky Mountains or somewhere in the background. That, if you're a Broncos guy, you already know who that is. If you're an NFL guy, you should. This is my friend Chad Jensen, longtime Bronco insider with a gigantic Bronco and passionate Broncos audience, and also a very insightful and unique approach to covering the Broncos. Chad, welcome to the program. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Fish, great to be with you, buddy. Thanks.
Let's let you plug away first. How do we find all your incredible stuff across the internet, including on YouTube?
Just find Mile High Huddle on Twitter and YouTube. The article stuff is the same, milehighhuddle.com, and you'll see all the good Bronco coverage.
Very good. And really it is. You got some of the best in the business, and it's unique. It's a different angle. And maybe it's going to take unique to cover these two teams, Cowboys at Denver. Now, I'll be going home. I grew up in Greeley, Colorado, so that'll be fun for me, and I'll see some old pals and all that kind of stuff. And the Cowboys, these Cowboys don't have any experience really with that building, that team, and then the Mile High City thing. And I've talked about how it's if you let it get into your head, it becomes a problem. Otherwise, it's okay. But I don't know if it was at Mile High Stadium or was it at the Nuggets arena, where you walk down that tunnel and there's the signs that tell you are a mile high in the air, so therefore you can't breathe. Is that in your head or is that in your chest?
No, I think there's some. It's real. It's real, but NFL teams nowadays do, I think, a pretty good job of trying to preempt that stuff and condition. But even this last game, the Giants got out to a really strong start, pretty much dominated the game for 3 quarters. But when the Broncos started making that miraculous comeback in the fourth, after the game, we heard from everybody that, yeah, you could see that the Giants were gassed. It was a furious comeback, albeit, so it was a little bit maybe more frantic of a pace, but the altitude was getting to them.
I got a chance to see that game, of course, in part, and then watching Twitter, X, and Broncos people. Sean Payton was going to get fired at halftime by Broncos people. I'm talking about some media people. Uh-huh. Is that a great? What was it? 20? Was it 28-6?
It was 26-8.
26-8. Was that a Giants collapse? Because the Giants aren't mature and good, sure. Or was that the maturation of the Broncos?
It was technically, in my opinion, a Giants collapse, but more in the kind of the vein of a death by 1,000 cuts. Simple things, Fish, like if their place kicker doesn't miss 2 extra points, the Broncos don't have enough sand in the hourglass to come back. But little things that along the way. But that's not to discredit Denver's comeback. But man, we're talking about Tim Tebow era level offensive ineptitude, boredom, fans booing, and then all of a sudden, at the bottom of the third quarter, Bo Nix gets something cooking. They score literally on the first play of the fourth quarter, their first points of the game. And it's not off of some well-designed Sean Payton ace up the sleeve. It's off a tip pass that Troy Franklin does an acrobat, bringing it in just in bounds. And then that opened the floodgates.
Okay, a point spread here, right around 3. Get some profit from that, from ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market, a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book or the house. You almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, you name it. Looks and feels just like a sports book, way better odds. Find the link below. Use the promo code FISH and claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. Terms and conditions do indeed apply. By 3. That feels right to me. They're 5-2 for all the griping that Broncos fans have done, and media too. 5-2 in a league of parity with a young quarterback. I think that's an impressive feat, no matter how you got there.
It's fair. I mean, it's honestly too, Fish. What's kind of crazy is they could easily, in a slightly tweaked alternate football universe, be undefeated, because both of their losses came on really quirky last-second field goal type of situations in weeks 3 and 4 to the Colts and Chargers, respectively. But, yeah, I think, Broncos fans and some media need to kind of stop and smell the roses a little bit. I think that's a very fair point.
And that doesn't mean they have to love Sean Payton, who I've known for a long time. He's not an easy person to love. Is that a nice way of putting it? Do you agree with me?
I do. I do.
There's an arrogance to him. The thing he did with Russell Wilson this week.
Right.
If you're not familiar, I know you are. If Cowboy fans, NFC East fans, you should be familiar. He basically said, "Yeah, I was talking to the Giants. I was telling him, I hope you don't play the kid till after we play. Meaning, I want to play crappy old Russell Wilson."
Yep.
Just a classless approach. The walking on the field during that game, which could have ended up being very costly. He carries himself in an arrogant manner. Of course, who am I to talk? So do I. But it can rub you the wrong way, and maybe 5-2 makes all that smell better.
Yeah. I mean, it's production-based business at the end of the day. I don't think there's much love lost between local press and Sean Payton. He makes it quite a bit harder to cover the team for reasons I won't get into. But as you say, it's hard to love him. But at the same time, Fish, it's hard to argue with his results. And the bottom line this season is it's been a little bit uneven. Fans aren't exactly, what's a good way to say it? They're not exactly pleased with its kind of uneven complexion up to this point. It's just kind of been one of these. And yet, as you pointed out earlier, hey man, they're 5-2. And for what it's worth, that's the best record this deep into the season that they've turned in, the Broncos, since Gary Kubiak's final year in 2016. And oh, by the way, they're first in the AFC West. So, it is what it is, but Sean Payton does get it done.
Does Bo Nix like Sean Payton?
I believe so. I have no reason to believe that there's any kind of dislike there, but there have been since Bo Nix was hand chosen by Sean Payton, there have been those couple of 2-3 moments that anyone who's watched the games have seen on the broadcast of little sideline spats, but that's pretty typical.
Brian Schottenheimer, in his visit with us middle of the week, he did a great job rattling through some of what the Broncos do and who does it. So he did he said Vance is as good I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Vance is about as good a coordinator, defensive coordinator as there is in football. He raved about Surtain. He really went through the Broncos group. One of his things on Patrick Surtain is he going to follow a receiver, and which one would it be? Do you have a feel there as the Broncos try to figure out CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens?
Man, it's been really hard to get a beat on that this year. Last year, more often than not, he followed the opposing team's number one. This year, it's been a little less consistent, but in this particular matchup, just considering how much Riley Moss, the number 2 corner in Denver, has been picked on, and he's for the most part, he's risen to the occasion when he's been targeted, but I don't expect him to do the follow the number one around thing. I think they'll try and kind of mix it up a little bit so that Dak can't exactly predict and anticipate exactly where Surtain's going to be.
You get to go against Javonte Williams, who Schottenheimer talking about him, and he's not a massive guy, but he's a well-built guy. And Schottenheimer said, "Yeah, I like big backs." Then he realized he was doing a little bit of a Sir Mix-a-Lot in his head, so he actually started rapping, "I like big backs."
Did he really?
Javante's been he's a top 5 running back in the NFL, right? Which must shock Bronco people to some degree.
To some degree. Now, remember, Williams, he kind of his tenure in Denver kind of ended with a bit of a whimper, but his rookie season was absolutely electric. I mean, he was constantly running over people. He had explosion. He had vision. And as the number 2 guy in terms of touch share, he almost got 1,000 yards. I mean, he came, whatever it was, at 50, 60 yards shy behind Melvin Gordon. Then he suffers that multi-ligament, multi-knee calamity the following season. And he just never quite regained that same explosiveness and just punch. But the Broncos at the Combine were talking about how before, of course, free agency settled, hey, we still don't think he's quite 100% recovered from that, meaning Not that so it's never going to happen, but that still maybe the best of his recovery is yet to come, and yet they still didn't bring him back. I think most fans are happy to see him thriving in Dallas, to be honest with you, because when you see such a bright career like that get derailed by a calamitous injury, you have some sympathy.
If you go through the Broncos defense, they're top 5 in every category, pretty much. If you go through the Cowboys offense, top 5 in every category. So maybe it's a little early to pick a score prediction, but Broncos defense, Cowboys offense, who do you like Sunday?
Man, it's tough because the Broncos have been defensively very consistent throughout the season, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, against a rookie Jackson Dart, they're like as leaky can get. They're not getting his home as much as pass rushers. I mean, they're still getting their hits on him, but they're not getting their 7-8 sacks per game like they were averaging in the last few leading up to that. So I think that was more of an anomaly, what we saw against the Giants, and I think they'll kind of tighten things up, but it's not going to be easy because, like you mentioned, this is an excellent offense. So I don't know. I think it really comes down to how well the Cowboys are able to protect Dak Prescott, who, at least against the Broncos, at times has shown a willingness to put the ball in harm's way. So I don't know. This is a tough one, but because it's in Denver, you're going to have the crowd noise. I'm going to err ever so slightly on the defense.
Broncos have 34 sacks, leads the league by 8. The Cowboys have only given up 8 sacks of Dak Prescott. So that might be your pressure point stat. Chad Jensen, plug away again. Where do we find you? Bronco fans already know it. Now NFL fans will get to find you at
Mile High Huddle on Twitter. You can connect with me also personally at Chad and Jensen, or just search Mile High Huddle anywhere. We're on all the socials and milehighhuddle.com. Thanks, Fish.
And of course, you can find me at Fish Sports on Twitter and here on the Fish Report and at cowboyscountry.com and at fishsportscowboys.substack.com. And you cannot contact me personally. The hell with you. Chad Jensen, you're the best. I appreciate you, young man.
Love you, bud. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you in the Rocky Mountains.